Alsina.
Hey James.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Not
Same
much.
old same old. I was watching. I got caught up in this Netflix, this little movie called Only,
Only?
and yeah, I'm not sure who's playing in it, but it's looking like it's gonna be a some type of outbreak of something,
Hmm.
you know, and there's gonna be only one lady left, so
Like a
it's
apocalypse zombie type of thing?
I don't know if it's going to be zombie-ish. It's kind of slow getting, it kind of is showing like prior to,
Hmm.
so it's kind of slow moving. So I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on with you.
Nothing. Just trying to wrap my mind around the fact that it's gonna be my last day off. Then
Oh,
I'm back to work tomorrow.
well, you only work 3 days,
Yeah,
so
I know, but them 4 days off, they they come and go like this. It's like speed racing over here. So
wow.
yeah, but
Oh, yeah,
it is what it is. At least I have the variety of work and home. Some people don't have that. It's just home 24/7. So
me. That
uh,
would be
that would be you.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
here, but it's some days you got good days, and then it's some days it's bad. It's
Hmm.
just like you know,
Yeah. What
yeah,
can you do?
it's
Well,
true.
let's get it started. This is our first official testing episode of
Yay!
bonding with Mater and Sater. So introduce yourself,
So my name is Brookley
aka.
Mater.
See? Yeah.
Yep, I am the mother of.
Sater. I was gonna say the whole title. Yes, the mother of Sater. Yes, that's me. But yes, I am James Eaton, aka Sater. And yes, we are currently in two different coasts. Mater mother is in New Jersey, and I'm far, far away in a land called LA.
East Coast is the best coast.
Oh, here we go. Listen, all that stuff died in the '90s. We're trying to be harmonious during these trying times. So yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
That's only because I want you back here. So
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. You gotta. But no, I rep my coast, yeah, as proudly as I can over here.
There
Uh,
you go. You
but yeah,
have to.
yeah, you do. But yeah, I guess we can give you a little update on the coronavirus out here. It's getting pretty bad.
You
It's
you know what? It's awful because we were doing so well here in New Jersey. After starting off so bad, we are seeing some rises, but I'm not keeping up with the news as much. We used to have those daily briefings, from Governor Murphy.
mhm.
Um, Not so much anymore. We don't get that anymore. Um, it's really scary,
Yeah.
and I'm really, well, I don't want to say scary because I'm not a fearful person. It's concerning.
Mhm.
It's concerning, and then it's more so concerning because you're, over on the West Coast, so it's, concerning, with how much you're, doing things to protect yourself, from this disease,
Mhm.
this virus, that's rapidly, spread. And I think eventually everybody's going to get it. Going to be either a carrier or you're going to just full out, COVID-19, you know, deaths. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, that's the scary part because I mean we've had like things like I guess the media would try to get us all scared with the swine flu and Ebola. Remember those things that came
Yeah,
about and everyone
right.
started panicking, but now we're actually here. And yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem like it's going away.
Well, that Ebola thing, I think when it comes to that, um, I think Obama did a great job with, you know, helping and sending out, executing expeditiously, you know, our CDC
Hmm.
over in Africa to be able to kind of, you know, annihilate. Well, I don't know if they annihilated. I'm sure it's out there still, you know, in some forms, but it's definitely contained,
Hmm.
you know, eradicated. That's the word.
Right.
Um, so, God, that would have been horrible because, you know, the outcome of that, you know, and the just that was a horrible, you know, death,
Hmm.
you know, for people.
Yeah. The symptoms was like you're like bleeding like out
From
the everywhere, huh?
all your orifices,
Mm.
nose, ears, you know, just wherever, eyes, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was pretty I'm glad we didn't, you know, get to, you know what that was like.
Right. Yeah. 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 So, but this over here, it's the cases are going up, and I guess we're improving testing, or there's a back catalog of old tests that are coming out, and people are having it, and it's spreading. And
Hmm.
we did our like soft like opening of like bars and things like that, and then the cases started coming back up, and it was like, oh, no, 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 we gotta shut everything back down again. So
Hmm.
it's they're saying, the last thing I checked in the news, like in the next 2 weeks or so, they'll know if we need to go back to our stay-at-home order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be pretty bad. You know, well, you know, you called yesterday,
Hmm.
and you know, me and two of your sisters, we were out, and we had the baby with us, and you know, I didn't feel afraid, um, because everybody, we are required to wear a mask. It's been that way, you know, since we've opened. I thank God that Governor, you know, Murphy took that precaution with us.
Hmm.
So people here are pretty much used to it. So I felt comfortable because we had the baby with us, and you know, she can't put on a mask. You know, she's only 3.5 months. So
Hmm.
with that being said, with everybody else having on a mask, I felt confident that she was going to be fine. So, you know, but we put something over her, you know, anyway, because she was asleep most of the time. And there were other children that were out. But, you know, we kind of decided that we wasn't going to really go out anymore.
Hmm.
What I didn't like is that people had on gloves. And I just wonder how often they were required to change those gloves. Like you could
Right.
see them opening up doors, like, you know, the patrons, you know, the customers, we didn't have gloves on. So we're
Hmm.
touching doors, we're, you know, touching things. And so the workers, the servers and the busboys and whoever, you know, I was waiting on us had gloves on.
Hmm.
So, like I said, I just wonder how often they were changing those gloves. And we just decided, you know, it was nice to get out. We had a good time,
Right.
but it wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was. It was. It's. I think everyone deserves to like. It feels weird to say, but if you have one opportunity to like just go out just once and just it's probably irresponsible to say, but the one time I went out to like the my friend's little brunch thing, it just felt so good to be out and like kind of put that to the back of my mind a bit, and just
Mm,
enjoy life. But it's too dangerous for that now.
yeah. Well, they're saying that they don't want people to get too comfortable, that there's like a syndrome of, you know, like the cabin fever,
Hmm.
and then you know, your mind just gets fatigued with all these precautions that we have to take. So then your guard is kind of let down a little bit, and you get a little bit relaxed, and then that's when you slip up, and then, you know, now you got COVID-19.
Right. Exactly.
So we got to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, that's what's going on over here. But in popular culture, there's
hmm.
a lot of mess going on apparently. But let's get into let's not go full throttle. We can start with 50. 50 had some comments, as he always does. about.
He's a dumbass. Oh, you told me don't go full throttle, right?
Oh, no, 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 no. We have probably something a little bit more juicy to discuss at another topic, but we can start with 50. But no, say how you
Yeah.
feel. Say how you feel about
Well,
50 Cent.
you know what? I just, I say that that's the God, it's not the angry black female in me, but it's the frustrated, female in me. To be called an angry, black woman, that's so easy and so typical, to kind of like get pulled into.
Hmm.
50 cents, I'm gonna have to say that as intelligent as he is,
Hmm.
he's done some great things. He's a smart man. He really is. He's figured out a way to make a great living for himself and his family, and he's very creative. You know,
Hmm.
as far as being the artist that he is with making music, and yeah, he acts pretty good. He's
He,
got
he's
that.
he's put himself in that category of being like an entertainment mogul, like Snoop has,
Yeah,
Queen Latifah, Ice
yeah,
Cube, even Will Smith.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm not trying to say that he should be a you know some type of hero or
Hmm.
a role model, but he does have a responsibility, when it comes to him being in the public figure. He just can't go around saying anything,
Right.
and it's offensive, just like this, Black Lives Matter, things that other races do and say. You can't just right out just say things about your own. um I don't want to say, I don't, what's that?
I'll say people on your own people.
On your own people. That's just a negative,
Hmm.
offensive thing to your mother.
Hmm.
you know uh, I don't know if he has any black daughters. I don't know if he's ever, if he's had, I don't know everything about him. I don't know if he's had children by women other than African American. But if you got brown, black girls in your life, I'm sure you got aunts. You know what I mean? You got whomever. You got other women that are important, to you,
Hmm.
and younger, children under you that you mean something to. That's just not a very nice thing for him to have said.
Right. Yeah.
Now his preference is his preference. If he likes white women, and he's he called them exotic. Yeah, it's exotic to him because I guess that's something that he never had. I guess if I had a white man, it would be exotic to me. But to put down my own, my
Kind.
own race, no,
Yeah.
that wasn't.
Well, I don't think he's specifically said white women, but to that sentiment of dating someone other than your kind, we
Hmm.
always, when this conversation comes up, it's always a black man saying this about his own women. When white
Hmm.
people date outside their race, when they date a black woman, when they date a Hispanic woman, when a Hispanic man dates a white, they don't, you don't see them bashing their own women.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
always us doing it, which is very disappointing.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is. It's quite disappointing. So, and then for Little Wayne to to be laughing at it and just
Yeah.
just pouring salt on a wound that's
Mm,
already open.
right.
That doesn't do much for healing. You know, the little brown black girls that we're raising to become women. You
Right.
know, and to be proud and love who they are. We
Mm,
already have a complex about our hair. You
mm,
know what I mean? The size of our lips, the just the color of our skin and stuff. So it's not. It wasn't a smart thing. For him to say. Now, if he said that, if that's how he really feels, but to say that and know that he's being taped, and you know
yeah.
it was going to be put out there for us to hear.
Hmm.
You know.
I think 50 Cent, not even though he's always kind of been like this,
Hmm.
now more so than like ever, he has like the Donald Trump effect of like he like
Yeah,
of like just being able to say and do whatever he wants and not
yeah,
have to face
yeah,
any consequences. Because he,
yeah.
his whole history was kind of just how even how he got into the rap game. He was just always like the bully.
Well,
I
it
mean,
certainly it helps. It helps his. It brought attention to him. It definitely gave him media time.
right? Yeah, it helped him it helped him reach the height in his rap career. And even at the same time, when it ended, that's kind of the thing that kind of brought it crashing down. But now he's found himself to where he's not really making music anymore. He's more
Right,
so entertainment mogul. He has, the Power was his show. He has
right.
a show on ABC, and now they're about to do a bunch of Power spin-offs, Chapter
Okay.
Two. But so he's more so in the entertainment light. But what the weird thing is, you would think the comments he says, especially in Hollywood, with
Hmm.
them, canceling everyone left and right, and
Right.
rightfully so, the things he would say, you would think like, what? How is he even still able to have all these things and opportunities? Like he's presenting himself as untouchable because for some reason he's so much of a troll of a bully like Donald Trump is that if you say something against him, he's not going to let it go and he's just going to
It's gonna keep.
keep
Well, you
coming.
know
Yeah.
what? You know what? It's funny because I got a story. So when I used to work, in the casinos, and there was this guy. His name was Ed. I can't think of his last name.
Hmm.
And I was food and beverage cashier, and all the serv. He was a server, so all the servers used to come up, and we just used to talk and just be silly and just. So he says, you know what? Um, and at that time I was reading a lot of books. So in
Hmm.
between, waiting on them and everything, he came up to me. He says, you know what? He says, I'm gonna write a book. I said, yeah. So he says, yeah. So I said, well, okay. So I said, what kind of book you want to write? So he says, just a book that I think everybody's gonna read. So I'm like, okay, well, what's the name of the book? He says, the name of the book is gonna be I Hate Niggas.
Hmm.
Right? So I bust out laughing because I felt what he was saying,
Hmm.
and I'm like, okay, everybody go buy that book because
Right.
you a black man and you gonna write a book. He said, yeah. He said, I'm gonna write a book called I Hate Niggas, and he says, people gonna just buy it just because that's the name of it. And it's gonna get me attention. You know, that's gonna draw people to get my book, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I ain't gonna buy it because I know what you're doing, but
Hmm.
people will buy, you know,
Yeah, it's kind of like working to both
into,
sides.
yeah,
You're black people are gonna be so appalled. How's a black man gonna write a book called I Hate Niggas? And
right.
then the secret people who really do, they're gonna be, oh, what? Sign me up. It's
Well,
gonna be,
let's just see.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I said, wow. I said, you might be on to something.
Yeah, maybe
So yeah.
he'll share some of my same thoughts. Yeah, it's I see what and he said this is like what back in the 2000s, 90s.
Wow. Yeah, this was. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he sold that now. He'd be raking in the dough.
Yes, he would.
Yeah.
Definitely
Did you see
timeless.
what Vivica Fox had to say about 50? Because she's always got something.
Yeah, but I think she definitely expressed that she will forever love 50 Cent. And I don't think that means like she'll love him like, in the terms of, that, a man and a woman,
Hmm.
love, but just as a friend, as somebody that she
Right.
knows, he's a black man that's important in her life.
Hmm.
But she was pretty teed. She kind of, told him, you can't handle a strong, black woman.
Right.
When she's strong, you want to call her angry.
Hmm.
You know, so she didn't like what he had said, but they, you know, every chance somebody gets, they ask Vivica Fox, something about,
Something about 50. Yeah,
yeah, something about 50 Cent. She can't shake that.
you can't shake it. Yeah.
So with her being a older, sister, you
Hmm.
know, And as beautiful as she was, he was attracted. He was definitely attracted to her, so she didn't look like something off a boat.
Oh no,
You
she's
know,
still even still.
she's still very attractive.
Hmm.
And during that time, I think she had met him. It was when she was doing that film, um, Kill Bill.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So she was playing a badass, in that movie. So, she was fighting and all that stuff and working out, and you could just see that in her body. And, she had this dress on, and 50 Cent got up and got his award whatever big event they were at. And he said to her, I'd like to thank Vivica Fox for wearing that dress, that she has on.
I didn't even know about. I didn't know the origin of them getting together. So I didn't know
Yeah.
about that. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's how they ended up, together. She was stunning and he just could not resist.
Yeah, that's like, especially because she's more so like that '90s era of the Nia Longs, the Holly
Mhm.
Berry, that group. So 50
Yeah.
Cent growing up in that time and then becoming a big star that he was in the early
Mhm.
2000s,
Well,
he
and
finally gets
she had been made a name for herself,
right.
even
Yeah,
before 50 Cent was thought of.
right.
Yeah.
Yes. So now that he gets to that
So,
that that point, it actually has a shot at her. You know what I mean?
mhm.
It makes all the sense in the world.
50 Cent did do a lot of things to build his wealth other than, I don't think he signed contracts that weren't, a smart, contract. He
I
strikes me.
as someone that learned the business as he was getting into it. He didn't just get
Hmm.
signed. It was like, all right, all I gotta do is rap and look strong.
And that's what's so powerful about him, about what he says. You
Hmm.
you have to build up, our younger generations. Number one, you just said something that was awful, about a young black, girl who's coming up, that's going to be a black woman. And you're teaching, the young black men who are looking at you, who are just like amazed, with, your wealth and who you are. And that's not showing, they only see the wealthy end of it. So that means to them, they may be taking that out of context and like, you got to be an asshole to be wealthy.
Right. Yeah.
you know
Yeah. But like I was saying, with the the whole lifestyle of being rich and the mentality of being rich, men are taught to look at women in a certain way, even
mhm
before they attain wealth or success or status. So
mhm
once you have that and you've had it for so long, you're like, you don't want to deal, like, you want the woman in your life to be an accessory,
yeah.
like just hey, I have this nice car or this nice house, like it's a part of that. You don't look at them as a person. And if they're quote unquote angry or have an opinion like any human being should have, it's,
mhm
oh, what you're angry, blah blah. You push them to the side. And I guess they find these women that are of other races to be more, I guess, what, docile and just submissive and all that. But
mhm
there's women of there's white women who won't take that mess. There's Hispanic women that won't take that mess.
Oh,
There's black women. You know what I mean?
yeah, of
There's
course.
just grown women that are not going to take that mess.
i
These
think i
rich,
think I think 50 Cent owes, us black women
an apology for
and
sure.
young black girls
Hmm.
an apology.
Hmm.
But he does not need to be apologetic about his preference. That's his preference, so
That's his
that's
preference.
fine.
Hmm.
That's fine. I'm not mad at him about that. But 50 Cent, if you ever hear our show, you know, I'm here for your apology. I ain't mad at you, but I just think that wasn't a nice
It's
thing.
a tired. I think we have enough. There's been enough dialogue. There's been enough conversation to where black women have spoken out against just that label, just because of just because you don't you have a certain type, or you like a quote unquote exotic or someone of a different race, doesn't mean you
Mhm.
have to bash your own women and paint
Well,
us
but
in a
he
corner.
does that. He does that in his music, though. A lot of his You know, a
And
lot of his
rappers,
music, yeah, rappers are, but that's how they make their money. That's what they do. But you know what, James, is kind of it kind of is a hypocritical thing. You know what I mean? As I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it, I'm just human and I got mixed emotions about the whole thing. There's certain, music that I just cannot, get with, because it does. I mean, if that's the culture, I tend to rather find another culture to embrace and
yeah,
but at the end of the day, that's how that man is making his money. That's how he's making his money. But be mindful of what you're creating. You within your culture, your music, understand you're creating another culture outside of your music. These young women, who are buying your music, who may think less of themselves, who may, follow you. That's a cocktail for a crazy. I don't even want to say it.
right, yeah. I'm with you.
But yeah. So, not many women are strong and are confident in themselves and built up, to know the difference.
Right, yeah, and
So,
and those are the women he targets.
yeah.
You know,
So,
yeah. So, but yeah, it is sad too because there's a whole battle and tension between black women and black men in relationships, especially nowadays, and that's kind of came to a head when like one of our most popular couples and examples of that have kind of messed it up. They're no different than us nowadays because it's come to light that Jada has messed with August Alsina. Are you familiar with August Alsina?
not really. I know he's a rapper, singer,
Singer. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay,
Hmm.
so singer.
Hmm.
James, it's a lot to unpack when you start, um, looking into these celebrity lives. It's so intriguing to like everybody because it's so public.
Right.
You know, if
Hmm.
it was just me and you know somebody, it's not that important or not that significant.
Right. Yeah. People who know
Significant.
if they want to be nosy, they can be nosy about it, but it's not like the two biggest stars in Hollywood married, and what I mean, they've been a couple since for like 20 plus years, probably as long as I've been alive.
Right.
So now
Yeah.
to see that they're not such the perfect couple that we thought, and then even too that the rumors that we've been hearing for years have kind of been somewhat confirmed now.
Mm.
So I'll give you a bit of backstory. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but August Alsina, he's a singer. He kind of became popular like maybe like towards the early to mid end of last decade, 2010s, like 2013, 12-ish or whatever.
Mm.
After his buzz kind of died down, we're like, what's going on? And apparently he was sick. He
So
was,
what? So not to cut you off. So
mhm,
stick a pin in it. He was sick.
he was sick.
But what name a song that I should know?
I listen. I don't. I never really was a fan of August Alsina.
Okay.
I thought he would come and go. There's a lot of R&B ish acts of his ilk that came
Hmm.
during that time, and I was just think he didn't stand out to me as some of the other people that I enjoyed. So
Okay.
I wasn't really into his music like that.
Okay.
Um, I, I I could think of a chorus that says "I love it." I'm not sure if that's the actual name of the song, but either
Hmm.
way, it's old. It's like,
Okay.
and I'm not even expecting you to have known it. He's definitely his demographic is definitely um late teen, early 20-ish black females
Okay.
and males.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I never really liked him. But yeah, he got sick because he kind of went away. He was kind of popping and gaining an audience, and then he kind of went away. But
Hmm.
then you started seeing him pop up with Jada, like
Okay.
they like knew each other and had like a relationship, and it was like, okay, all right, well, table that. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And then probably like a couple of years ago, he kind of posted this like post on Instagram thanking Jada for like, I love you. You've been a very positive inspiration in my life and da 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 da. And we're like, hey bro, she's married, right? Like what is
Well, wasn't it always going around that Will and Jada, they were kind of like
had an open marriage.
had an open marriage.
Yes.
They were, what's
But
the
they
word?
never
I'm like an eclectic, like not eclectic. Oh God,
swingers.
eccentric. It's yeah, they were swingers. That they were, kind of like a, just just different. You know what I mean? The way they raised their children, the way they, just a whole lot of things that they did. Some people just, kind of looked at it as, strange. So I kind of, when all that came out, what's the song they had with all these couples, and and they mentioned them in there, like Jada and Will and something,
Oh, oh, oh.
whatever,
I
that
think
was
it was Unbreakable by Alicia Keys.
unbreakable.
Breakable.
Yeah, that. So
Yeah.
that whole image, when you thought of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, that's what you thought of.
Hmm.
But again, they're human.
Right.
I so at the round table top, her show,
Hmm.
she had Will on there, and she let Will ask her the hard questions.
Yeah.
So what happened, and she said she had an entanglement.
Entanglement. The word of 2020. That's
Okay.
that thing, man. You thought COVID entanglement. That's going in the lexicon.
Well, that's biblical, because entanglement, when you start to dance outside of your marriage, you start to be adultery or whatever. That's soul ties and stuff, and it is an entanglement. So what she was saying, but Will wanted to, you was in a whole relationship,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
and so there it is, boom,
Hmm.
she
And could
she
you
said it.
imagine if this was the other way around? They would murder Will Smith.
You think
Murder.
so?
Murder.
I think
They will murder Will
I
Smith.
think Will Smith has kept. I don't know if they would have murdered him. I'm just thinking about how I would feel. I think Will Smith has kept a clean nose throughout his career.
Exactly. This is
I think
exactly
I think
why.
that but I saw them. I don't know. I want to say it was on Oprah, but
Mhm.
you could see the love that he had for Jada,
Mhm.
and it made. Oh, I'm sure it made all the women in the crowd go, "Woo! Look at Will."
Mhm.
Will was he pretty much said something to the effect that he couldn't breathe without her, or she was his breath, you know
Yeah.
just and it sounded so
Mm.
sincere. It
Mm.
sounded so
Hold on.
he's a deep thought
Yeah.
man.
Yes.
He's very, and that's what his attraction is. That's why I think he's so um he just sells, he oozes, you know
Yeah. He's very
what's the
It's not.
word?
It's not articulate. Even though he is articulate,
Yeah,
but you
he
can. You
he
can.
was known as weird in school. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? He probably was before his time,
Yeah.
in school.
Like what you can tell. You can like feel. I don't know what it is. It's like Tupac had the same thing. To kind of bring them two back to get together with the whole
I don't
Jada
know
thing.
about
No,
Tupac, but go
Tupac.
ahead.
As far no, I mean I get not what you're saying, but as far as like when he says something,
Uh-huh.
you feel it. If
Okay.
Tupac was angry in the song, you really felt that he was angry.
Okay. Right.
It's
You
the
knew
same.
what. Okay.
It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing Will has when he's expressing his feelings of love and
Yeah, it just
compassion.
gets to your
He was like, "Oh my
soul.
gosh!" Like
Right.
he's on the nose. Like you feel,
Right.
yeah. He can. He has a way of making you feel what he feels. And with that said, you can tell in that interview he was really hurt.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, oh,
really hurt.
he was hurt.
He was
Now, but
really
see,
hurt.
I wonder what was, so Jada did kind of admit that she had some codependence issues going on with her. Codependence is where you want to take care of everything and everybody, and
Hmm.
and then you kind of get this little passive aggressiveness about yourself when it's not fully received. You know, I did this and I did that, and I want to fix you, and now that I fixed you, I don't think Will needed a whole lot of fixing.
No.
I think Will's his career was just blown up from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I
Hmm.
also think that Will Smith was a smart man that knew how to build his wealth, and not just be this um you know, one what is it, one hit wonder movie or whatever, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. I mean, because he bumped his head earlier when he was just the first the rapper before he even
Yeah,
got into acting. He bumped his
yeah,
head.
before, yes.
Yeah. So
So
he
he was
learned.
able to, yeah, he was able to, come out on top of that, and really just have this creativeness about him, and I take it from Jada. Jada is was very creative, and her part in A Different World.
Hmm.
I think she was on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, with Will
Hmm.
as his girlfriend or something. I do believe. Um, what else? She's done a lot of things, but she can't touch him. And I think sometimes in marriages and in couples, and I don't care how much money you can make, this much money, and you bring, still there's a percentage that when you bring to the table the way they live versus the way we live, maybe he felt like, maybe I don't know, maybe they both felt like one is not appreciative of what this one does, and the other one wasn't appreciative of what that one does, you
Yeah.
know.
I think there's once there's two people that are, because Will Smith is a megastar, but Jada Pinkett is a star in her own right. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
she can very well be an entity without Will altogether.
Without Will altogether,
And
yeah.
Will even
Vice
more so,
versa,
and vice
right?
versa. So when that happens, it's like I'm without us knowing anything, because we don't really know anything, but
No,
I'm pretty sure it got to a
no,
point
we don't.
where it was like you know what, like I'm gonna do me, you do you, and that's kind of what probably happened to where this whole thing with August Alsina came up. Now the thing
Hmm.
that we probably wasn't banking on was August Alsina just owning up to it and kind of like putting her out there, like, yeah, we did have a relationship, and I sat down with
Hmm.
Will, and he gave me his blessing, and that's man,
Well,
that's so embarrassing.
yeah, that's embarrassing. I don't know if that happened or not. I
Mhm.
mean,
It didn't. It didn't.
yeah, like why would he just, come up and say something like that? I think that's horrible.
Hmm.
Number one, marriage is a wonderful, institution that, God is, you know, put out there for a man and a woman. So it's going to always be under attack, you
Hmm.
know. So, just doesn't matter how much money you make or how little money you make, just know that people, will and do come in between, marriages.
Yeah. Yep. And
So, but they said this thing, we something about we gonna ride or die.
it's the bad boys thing. It's we ride together, we die together, bad marriage for life. And I thought that was funny, but there were some girls in my timeline that was like, oh, it's so cringy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Cause
Lacey
yeah,
did.
no,
Lacey didn't like that.
yeah, I'm sure she wouldn't.
Oh, Lacey was like, no.
no, none of this
you
should have.
know,
None of this should have happened. This is.
but now, to their um defense, marriages do go through things.
Hmm.
Only the strongest can survive, some things.
Yeah,
And no marriage is going to be perfect,
right.
so if they can get themselves together and realize and at this time, no matter how long it took them, that they're
Hmm.
supposed to be together, and they're going to step back and reevaluate their vows and know that they're supposed to be together to death, do them part, then I say,
Yeah,
you know
I do like the undertone of it being like, people viewing it as cringy, as how is this even real, like how am I even watching this. I do like the fact that they owned it. They
yeah,
owned
they're
it.
public figures.
Public figures, they didn't run away from it, they addressed it head on.
Yeah, most
And
most most late people like people like us,
mhm,
common folk like us,
right,
we'll get on Facebook and act like it's this and act like it's that,
right, yeah,
oh we this and oh we
hmm,
want that Hollywood persona, but are we going can we really do what they did?
right, exactly. So
So
yeah, but I appreciate that, but hey, we got us black men, we got one in the history books. We got, you know we got, before this, all we had was Issa Rae on Insecure when she cheated on Lewis. That's all we had. That's all reference we had. And oh, that's a fictional show. Oh, well, he was a bum and he didn't do nothing. We had all the excuses and all that. But
so
now,
you, go ahead.
I'm saying that now we have
Hmm.
a real life example of a very prominent black couple that we all look to be, you know what, we want to be like them. Their goals in this. And it wasn't Will to mess it up. It was Jada. That's what we got, and that's what we needed. So we're going to take this as a W.
So you saying like for the millennials, for you guys?
For, uh, my dad's generation, your generation, the men of,
Well,
they can take it as it's y'all generation. They're y'all age.
yeah, they are our age. Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
So that's
We
more.
might be a little bit older than them, but yeah.
I think my dad. I think, well, my dad is and Will Smith are probably like the same age.
Yeah, yeah. But see, I'm
Yeah.
probably older than them, so yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, even still, that's more of a W for y'all generation than mine. But even still, we're gonna take it. That's our generation as far as like,
That's because they're so relevant. You know what I mean?
right. And
They're
and the
that's
dude and August Alsina is like our age, my age.
okay.
So that's the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I guess you can be a Will Smith. You and Jada Pinkett, y'all have had an impression on
for
two
sure,
generations.
for sure,
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah,
for sure, for sure. Yep.
yeah.
So
Okay,
I
I can
mean,
see that.
I love Will Smith. He's the definite inspiration for me. And the big takeaway I got from it was that I would look great with a beard because he looks great with a beard.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
has said you look like Will Smith.
yeah.
You could have been his son.
Yeah. That's why I'm giving him his props. I'm not gonna speak any ill will towards him because in the
Hmm.
future I would love to work with him, and even if I don't work with him, love to meet him, love to pick his brain. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Don't
So
worry, Will.
you get that from your mom, because I try not to speak ill will on
Right.
anybody. There's not, you know, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. So,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah. So.
and I've always tried to instill that in you to see to see the better portion of a person, even though you may be upset or offended by something that they did or whatever.
Hmm.
At some point, it's gotta be a balance, and or you just end up judging, and
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
So
So that's it with all the the mess that's going on in the real world. But in the fictional world, we have our show that's back on the Shy, and I am all caught up.
are you?
I'm all caught up. I know what's going on, and it's, boy, it got real. It got real, and it's it's even more so interesting because if you were paying attention to all the going on of behind the scenes of what was happening with the characters. Brandon that got fired and killed off from the show.
Mm-hmm.
That whole ordeal, I think they switched showrunners. So it's a new person that's in charge of how the show goes and everything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
you can tell through like the tone of the show. It's more. I think the last two seasons was more like a street crime drama type of vibe,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's just more so.
It's been a switch.
It's it's
It's been
it's.
a.
Uh,
Is that
you
the
know what?
whoa?
Listen. I'm just going to let you do it because it's acceptable for you to do it wrong. Now, if I try to correct you and do it wrong, I'm going to get killed. So we're going to leave it at that. If you think that's the woe, then hey, that's the woe. I'm going to let you do it. I got my dances that I can do, and I'm going to stick to them. But yes,
Okay.
it's been a switcheroo. It's the tone of the show is a lot more. It's a lot more lighthearted. It's still a drama, but it's not. It doesn't feel like a crime drama. The cops try to get the drug dealers type of thing.
Right.
Is going on in the last two episodes. It's more,
Right.
it's a little bit more lighthearted. It's more focused on the community rather than the streets.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think that they were not writing this during the time during what we're living in right now.
Oh yeah, no.
So, but it's so fitting to what is right now.
Mhm.
Even before even the last season, fast forward, I think it's a lot of it's bringing a lot of attention to sexuality,
Yes, yeah.
and it's bringing a lot of attention to you know, human rights, you
Mhm.
know, um, equality and things of that nature.
Mhm.
I'm finding it to be it's kind of like a weird they're oh God, it's a little, oh, the word leaves me. We're gonna edit this part out.
as far as like you were talking about the how the show is the focus a little bit more on sexuality.
Yeah, they're focusing a lot on it. There's a lot of
Well, the creator
transgender, LB, what
GT
is it?
GT.
GT,
There's more
community.
acronyms, but yes. Mhm. Um,
Yeah.
but
So
the creator of the show, Lena Waithe, she is gay.
from from start to beginning, she has been gay. That's the like
From
from she's written all the past seasons.
Oh well, she doesn't primarily write the show, but she is the
Okay.
person that created the show. I saw this coming because I know her background. I know that she is gay, and I know that her her everything that she's done has had an element of bringing that to the forefront because that is her culture.
Mhm.
Even still, the um the mom in the show, she like that couple. You know how they got married in the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
They've been gay the whole time, but they just didn't kind of like
It wasn't like just thrown out there at you in your
right.
face like that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
and that was another thing too. There was an air of like
Nina and Dre. Nina and
yes,
Dre.
Nina and Drake.
Mhm.
There was an air of how when you're watching a show and it's the first season and you can tell like they're getting their footing, they're doing everything that they can that they're allowed to do. And once
Mhm.
the show becomes a success, it's like after the second or third
Mm.
season, that's when
Mhm.
it's like, oh no, we're here. We're going to do this, and this, and no one's going to tell
Right.
us because we have a hit on our hands. I
Right.
feel this a lot in this third season because they've proved to be
Okay.
I'm sure they're probably the top show for that network, if not one of the
Okay.
top shows for that network. So
Okay.
I took, you know, with Lena Waithe being of the LGBT community, and the fact that the show has proven to be a success, and you get more pull and more leeway to do the things you want to do.
Right.
I was expecting this, but I knew of her and who she was before this show.
Mhm.
What I want you to watch, I want you to watch. She. How I was introduced to her, she was a part of this show called Master of None. It's on Netflix. It's
Okay.
it's about this Indian comedian, and he's just living life in New York, and she's one of his friends on the show.
Okay.
She's basically playing herself, and she
Right.
has this episode called the Thanksgiving episode, and it's about her coming out to her mom.
Mhm.
And she wrote that episode and won like an award, Emmy for it. That's kind of what blew her up a little bit. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? To where she
Right.
can create the shot.
Right.
If you watch that, you'll be able to understand that even that she can understand your point of view of how
Right.
you
Okay.
feel.
Yeah, because I'm sure she has people in her family that love her
Hmm.
tremendously and would never shun her from, her how she feels and who she is and who,
Hmm.
whatever. It's a hard, I hate. I don't like people who hate people. I want to love all people.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's it.
I mean, but even more than that, the focus of this season is less about, like I said, less about the drugs and all that, and more so
Hmm.
about the disappearance of
Yeah. Keisha.
Keisha.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Keisha.
she's gone, and I was seeing the trailer for the season, and that I thought she was like, how it kind of felt that Brandon or the little boy was like the main character of the show.
Hmm.
I thought it was going to
Brand.
be her. Brandon is the short kind of chubby dude that died.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
The
yeah,
chef.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I thought that she was kind of going to be the focus of the show, as in it was going to be more of her character, like she was going to be the lead.
Right.
And even though she is, but she's not. Like she's not the lead, but the whole season is about her being gone
Yeah.
now.
Well,
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
tell you something. I was so happy to see my girl Candy Burr stroll up through that place,
Wait. What are you talking about?
asking for Duda. You don't know who Candy Burris is? Did you see? You didn't see the last one, then.
Wait.
Maybe I
Oh,
need to be quiet.
wait. Whoa. Are you on
Um,
episode? What are you on episode 4 or 3?
I don't know what episode I'm on, but they got a new one out now. I'll stop talking about it because you know who Candy Burris is, right?
Yes.
Well, okay, she's on the show, so you must not have saw the last one.
I thought. The new one comes out today.
Mm,
Did you watch a new one today?
yes.
How? Huh?
I watched episode 4. I think it was 4.
It had to be 4 because the last thing I
Yeah.
saw. Oh well, hey, if I'd have known that, I'd have watched it before this.
We'll talk about it the next time.
The next time, okay. Well, yeah. Um. So what I've seen so far, wow, I really thought that because it airs Sundays at a certain
Hmm.
time. I didn't know it was going to be immediately available on Sunday.
Oh, well, yeah.
I
I
guess.
I got it today.
Oh well.
So, yeah, I guess we could just recap on everything, unless you got something you need to say that's going on in your life, that you want to share with mommy, with Mater.
Vader.
Yeah.
No, my life is pretty boring. pretty pretty boring. The show is probably the most exciting thing of my week. But
Right.
no, I like the episode, the direction the new season is coming. I do like I do miss Reg. I really wish that Reg
Oh,
was a
wow. Yeah.
was a part of the season. But I do like his older brother.
Okay. His
His
his name is Trig.
Trig. Yeah, I do like his older
Yeah.
brother. He's a good actor, but he's a singer also in real life. That guy.
I was trying to figure out what other movie I recognize him in, but it kind of, you know what, when it got real for me when I really start to notice that this is going to be about a, you know, sexual thing, sexual preference, kind of like thing going on. Was when they were in that gay bar. Like I didn't realize that, his girl was
Was
transgender,
hmm
and and him struggling, with her, being who she is, and then they're in a place, and then somebody approaches him, and that's such a hypocritical thing for him to, want to beat this man up, but yet, she told him, you can't love me if you don't love them.
I don't think they're gonna harp on the fact that she's transgender too much. I read them saying about that. It was
Mm-hmm.
just, I think it's more so of an angle to have a character that kind of identifies with like when they went to go find a girl and they were seeing the girls that are locked up and being pimped out and all that. That
Mm-hmm.
happens to a lot of transgender people. And she was saying that that could have been me. So I think
Right.
they're using her character to be the person to be like, no, we need to find her. We
Right.
need to find this girl because I know what's happening to her or what
Right.
could be happening to her. So yeah, I guess that wraps this up a little bit. We can get into some good and bad news to wrap the show up. Let's start out good. I think this kind of been like a negative sort of kind of thing with this episode. But good news is we got Batwoman. Batwoman is a show on CW, and for whatever reason, the lead of the show she decided to like not do the show no more. And her name was Ruby Rose, it's a white woman, I believe, that was
Mm-hmm.
playing Batwoman, and they were looking for a new Batwoman, and they got her, and she is a black woman
Oh,
named
nice.
Javicia Leslie, and she's going to be the new Batwoman.
I love that name, Javisa.
I think I could be butchering the name. If so, please forgive me. But
Well, that's nice.
Javicia Little or Leslie, Javicia Leslie.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. She's people know her from shows that they may have seen. I think God Friend Me was one of them. But she's
Mm-hmm.
she's her star is rising, and she definitely deserves this role. So a round of applause for her. And I always love when this type of thing happens when black people or people who quote unquote aren't supposed to play that role
Mm-hmm.
get that role, because there's
Mm-hmm.
always a group of people. Oh, how could they make a black Spider-Man? Like I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like that
Well,
those
they
people always.
did that all the time with us. They wouldn't cast us in roles that they
Mm-hmm.
knew were supposed to be black people. Like they put Elizabeth Taylor,
As
as
Cleopatra.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
come on,
Yeah. It's hey, it's y'all turn. And
yeah.
it's not even y'all turn because Batwoman is a fictional character,
Right, exactly. And here we go with Cleopatra
a,
being
a
a
real
real
person.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
and you're
they
gonna
could
cast.
they could have got an Asian person to play Batwoman if they wanted to. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
I think
So
that's beautiful because the girls from one of them is gonna be playing some type of princess. What's those two girls? They play the twins on
oh
Black on
on
Grownish.
Grownish. Her name is I have a big crush on the sister.
Which
It's
which one?
Chloe Bailey is the older one. They're not twins. They're not
No, I
twins.
know.
One's
Uh
older.
huh.
I have a
Uh huh.
crush on the older one, but the person
Uh
that's going to be playing the Little Mermaid, her name is Haley Bailey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think there's some wonderful, up and coming, phenomenal young girls, and kudos to her. I know she's going to nail it. I
Oh
know
yeah,
she's
yeah.
going to be really, really, really good.
They've been in the
I
business for a
love,
while.
I love how they're sisters, and they just seem like they are very encouraging, you know what I mean, to one another. I don't
Hmm.
get that jealous vibe or whatever.
Yeah,
They
no,
seem
no.
like they are sincerely, happy for one another.
Hmm.
And I just think that because of that, they're really like so different, but yet they're so much alike that they can get away with playing twins.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
So they just have this uh, 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 um, just this chemistry,
Mhm.
that they have that's working for them.
Yeah, yep.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
And my
great.
son has a crush on the older one, so.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens with that. Fingers crossed. Chloe, if you're
So.
watching this, I love you. Okay. Yeah. Some bad news. So I think this happened last Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. But in Seattle, there was a Black Lives Matter protest, and unfortunately, someone drove into the crowd, and her name is Summer Taylor. Summer Taylor passed away. She was 24, and I think her friend was injured as well and is in critical condition. But Summer Taylor passed away. So I want to send my condolences to her family and thank her for fighting for a cause that is near and dear to us. So
They were
rest in
white.
peace.
They were
Yes,
a white. She was a white.
it was a white young white
Yeah,
girl.
I think I heard a little bit about that. There's a lot of, people who are, not black,
Hmm.
they're not only just the white people, Caucasian people, but there's people from all nationalities and
Hmm.
races, who are really, standing behind us, and they do realize that, um, they're not saying all lives matter. They are acknowledging that Black lives do matter.
Hmm.
Some people get offended, because we're not saying all lives matter. That's a given. Who does not know all lives matter?
Right. Yes.
So when you put to look over what you see, all the time, that's been video time after time. If you put 10 black men and 10 white men in the same room and you begin to ask those hard questions, how many of you have, you know been pulled over, and you weren't doing anything, you're black while driving,
Hmm.
and the questions that they or the reasons why they tell you that they're pulling you over, how many white men would feel, some type of fear, coming from, you know, something as simple as being pulled over. It's not a simple thing to a black man. There is an element of fear that hits them, you know, immediately.
Hmm.
And then there's a tension that is from the cops that hits them, immediately when they're pulling them over.
Right.
So, it's like a hype, thing. It's like, their cops are elevated up to here. The black young man at this they pulled over, they're elevated. It's just something, and something has to be, done. And that's just one scenario, one case. But yeah, anytime when people have stood up for us, and this young lady has lost her life, I too, you know, would like to extend my condolences to this young lady's family and her friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we,
Hope
you know,
hope for a
we
safe
we
recovery for
love you.
the friend for sure.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yep. So.
So
And then in other bad news, I couldn't find anything else, kind of good or cheerful, but this is kind of an ongoing developing story. Naya Rivera, are you familiar with the show Glee?
yeah, because of Nene Leaks, I've never watched it before, but I've only really heard of it because of Nene Leaks, and I'm a fan of Atlanta Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that she had a starring, a I don't know if it was a starring role, but she had a,
Like
somewhat of a permanent position,
guest star type of.
guest star, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
appearance, on there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she's missing, or probably presumed, dead,
Mm-hmm.
um, from a boating,
Accident.
but that, yeah, are they calling it an accident, or what are they,
Um.
you know?
Well, we're saying accident, right? They're saying accident right now. We don't really know. You know.
Yeah.
I guess when if she's found dead or alive, we will get to the bottom of what actually happened. But
Yeah.
I'm I hope hope and pray that she's all right, and good thing that the kid was safe, because
Yeah.
this happened like maybe either last month or the month before, with the water. That being in the water is such a dangerous place to be that I don't think people really like people kind of forget it. It's
Mhm.
so like even being in the pool, it's there's an element of danger that is
Mhm.
kind of like shooed away that you don't really think about. But it's for me, that's me. I don't like the water
Right.
because of that element of danger is always in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
So I
Some
can't.
people are aware of it, and some people just aren't.
Some people just aren't. You know what I mean?
They're
So that's why
oblivious to it.
I've always been wary of just being in the water just cause. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, like 2 months ago, a wrestler and his son got caught in the current, and the lifeguard was going to save him, and the dude was like, "Hey, save my son, save my son." They end up saving the child, but the wrestler he ended up passing away. This happened
Mm.
out here too, like Santa Monica.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think she's in Lake Piru or Piru or Peak. I'm not sure if I'm getting that wrong, but it's definitely out here in California.
Mhm.
I'm not sure in what exact area, but yeah, she's been gone since been missing since I think Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, but at any rate, we just hope and pray that they find Naya Rivera. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's it. That's all. That wraps it up.
Okay. We just want to thank everybody for listening in to our show.
Yep, yep. There's more to
Um,
come. More to come. You know,
more to come.
more to come. We're growing. We're figuring this stuff out as it comes. But we're happy to be here. Happy to share our bond with the world, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Toodles.
Bye.
All right, how we start? All right, go ahead.
So, James, I don't know. You okay? How long have this picture behind me? How long have you? How far back can you remember that picture? This
My whole life.
your whole life.
Yes.
So I got this picture when you were, I guess, about a year and a half. Looks
Mm-hmm.
like I'm holding it. It is called the Madonna. But yes, mother and child.
Been child.
The Madonna.
I like it. I like it. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't have any
Or
father
you have a
mother. What? I have a fire hydrant. This
There you
fire
go. That's what I was going to say. There it is.
this fire hydrant. Well, I got the TV, but when I turned this app on, this came up. So this is new. I literally just got this a few seconds ago. So and I love it. I enjoy it. I hope it stays for another minute or so before a cat shows up. So,
Or a dog or
or a
something.
dog. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe two will pop up. Maybe I'll have two fire hydrants next. You know, I'm a lucky man.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at. So
Next time I'll show you my fan that I've had since
that
James can
legendary
remember.
legendary
Yeah.
fan. I almost want to steal it, but I don't want to get a beat. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
will.
yeah. I know. I know. I know.